Hey, how's it going? I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I just wanted to include a quick video in today's newsletter going over a couple of nutrition and diet related items that I think people will find beneficial. Um, and I wanted to talk about like three main things that I do with people when addressing nutritional needs. And first part is just trying to figure out where we're starting from and what we need help with the most. There's sort of a priority system that I set up with most of my clients when we discuss nutrition and diet with them. And the first thing is to figure out sort of where they are in that spectrum. Your priorities, sort of in this order, should be as follows. First thing is making sure that you have good diet and nutrition habits. Secondly, after we've established really good healthy habits, then we start to think about things like portion control, what a good serving size looks like for somebody, what your portion per meal should look like of all of your foods. And lastly, we get into things like macronutrients, calorie counting, etc. For most people, the biggest hurdle and the biggest roadblock is actually just establishing good, healthy eating habits for them. And I think that's the thing that will, one, set you up for great success, but also be the thing that has the greatest impact on you. We talk about healthy habits. We're talking about, things like eating your vegetables with each meal, drinking enough water throughout the day, and little things like that. And the tool that I like to use with most of my clients when I first start with them, we start to introduce this idea of eating healthy habits, is one that I picked up from some of my own coaches, Todd Bumgardner and Chris Merritt, which I'm sure they stole from somebody else as well, or got from somebody else, but it's called the 5-3 First. And I'll have a client list 5 things that they think that they should be doing with regards to fitness and nutrition, but right now we're talking nutrition. So 5 things that you think you should be doing that would make the biggest impact for you nutritionally and also be the easiest for you to implement, right? So the client writes down, or for you, if you want to try this, write down those 5 things. Once you've done so, I want you to take those 5 and narrow it down to the 3 that would have the biggest impact of those 5, and again, be the easiest for you to implement. So now we've narrowed the list down from 5 to 3. You're going to look at those 3, think about your life, your schedule, your daily routine, and then pick the one that is going to be the absolute easiest, surefire, can't miss, impactful thing that you can do with regards to your nutrition, and start implementing and tracking that. And track that for the next 3 weeks. Now, you can do all 5 or 3 of those things, but the one that you're going to actually pay attention to is that single one that you pick that you know you can do. Most of the time, people get into this, they start tracking it, and once they start writing things down with regards to, hey, am I keeping up with this habit that I've set for myself, this value, as opposed to me telling you this is what you've got to do. You're now choosing it, so you're taking accountability for it. You picking that item and tracking it will allow you to establish that good habit. Now, after that, we'll move on to one of the other 2 that you have of those 3 that you picked, or that you narrowed the list down to, and start tracking that one. Now, you can continue with the first habit after 3 weeks, but the one that we then keep track of is that second habit that you choose, and so on and so forth. And this is just a really good way to get you in the swing of establishing good, healthy habits. Things, whether it's eating your vegetables, drinking water, and not drinking your calories, making sure you're eating enough protein, whatever it is. After that stuff has been figured out, and you've got kind of a game plan, you've got a feel for what healthy eating is versus eating out all the time, eating crap, grabbing what's quick, etc. Then we start to think about portions. And a couple of you, when you first signed up for my newsletter, you got some of the information that I sent out about portions. One of my favorite ways to look at it is the precision nutrition, which is just using your hand as a guide. And I think I shot this out in one of my last videos as well too. But we talk about when it comes to healthy carbohydrates, we use a cupped handful, or for guys 2 cupped handfuls. You'll probably just double this up. Vegetables on your plate, a fistful of vegetables at every meal, a palm-sized serving of protein, and a thumb-sized serving of fats. And this is a great way to kind of start to get an idea of what your plate should look like, making sure that you've got foods from every important food source there to leave you feeling really satisfied, full, but also giving you lots of good fuel. Lastly, when a client is looking at getting really lean and they've got a really good sense of portions and they've got a good sense of, they've got a really firm kind of foundation of healthy eating habits, that's when we start to think about counting macronutrients and counting calories. And I think a lot of times people jump the gun there and they either go right from, hey, I need to start eating healthy, to counting their calories, trying to count their macros, and end up feeling kind of overwhelmed by it all, and also feeling like this is a really tedious thing to do. And then they quickly throw it in the trash, their game plan, because it felt so strict for them, and go right back to eating junk and fall off the wagon. So let's start with something that you can be successful at, something that you can be that's easy for you, and also that's going to set you up for long-term success. Because even if you start missing those macronutrients, you at least will always have a good sense of what your portions should look like, and most importantly, what healthy eating habits look like. So again, think of them from that priority. The foundation is that healthy eating habits. Then on top of that foundation, we start putting a little bit of that structure down with your portion control, and the icing on the cake is going to be counting the macronutrients, counting the calories down, starting to cut calories here and there so that you get really, really lean. As I hope that's been helpful for you. I hope you're enjoying this weekend. Sorry for the newsletter getting out a little bit late. We're still wrapping up some of the things with my move here to the new apartment. But again, I've got a bunch of great articles stuck into this newsletter that I hope you'll find really helpful. And obviously, if you ever have any questions, you can always email me, rob@robthetrainer.com. Take care, everybody.